Senator Tim Scott proposes to his fake girlfriend. There's a picture of it so that we can have proof to talk about. Let's go ahead and put the picture up. In addition to that, right on cue, ladies and gentlemen, Governor Ron DeSantis decides to drop out of the race, and Tim Scott, as well as DeSantis, endorse Donald Trump while counter-endorsing Nikki Haley. It's a hell of a thing. All right, let's do it this way. Keep the picture up, so let's get into it. Senator Tim Scott, Republican, South Carolina, who has his job because of former Governor Nikki Haley. It was Nikki Haley as governor who appointed Tim Scott to the position of U.S. Senator during an open vacancy. Former presidential candidate and possible Republican vice presidential nominee proposed to his girlfriend. Mindy is her name. Saturday evening at the beach, they were in South Carolina. She said yes. Quote, as a guy who is mostly an introvert and on the quiet side, having to have a conversation about the engagement is a little, uncomfortable in a way. But it's the most exciting thing I'll do with my life besides making Jesus my Lord. Scott said in an interview on Sunday, I've been very patient and prayerful, and I'm really excited and somewhat nervous. And I couldn't be more thankful for having found a soulmate and someone who shares a lot of the same interests, passions, and goals that I do. End quote. Now, here's the irony of it all. Just a few months ago, when the media said, hey, Tim, you said you had a girlfriend in that town hall. Who is she? And Senator Scott said, well, I don't want to bring her out here. I wouldn't do that unless I knew that I really wanted to be with her long term. I guess he changed his mind. Okay, Senator Tim Scott, good luck to you, sir. This is going to definitely stop all of those rumors Republicans started about you about being gay. Because we didn't start those rumors. We don't have an issue with your preference. Republicans did. And they said it on record against you, unfortunately. The reality is it should not matter, should it, sir? All right, also Florida Governor DeSantis has decided he's dropping out as well. He entered the race 2024 presidential campaign with a bankroll. The man still got money. Bankroll rivaling that of the coup-attempting former President Donald Trump. He dropped his bid for the GOP nomination on Sunday and endorsed Trump on his way out. Quote, nobody worked harder and we left it all on the field, DeSantis said in a video posted on X, formerly Twitter, before going on to say, quote, if there was anything I could do to produce a favorable outcome, more campaign stops, more interviews, more bigotry, I would. He didn't say more bigotry. I put that in there. That's what he was thinking on the inside. Now, here's the thing. After DeSantis said he endorses Donald Trump, and by the way, he decided to also counter-endorse Nikki Haley, which is unheard of in a campaign. He counter-endorses Nikki Haley, endorses Donald Trump. Trump is then posed the question about will he retire the name Ron DeSanctimonious? Here it is.
Okay.
You just said, will I be using the name Ron DeSanctimonious? I said, that name is officially retired.
Did you hear the response from the crowd? It is as if he just gave everyone free access to health care. No. President Obama did that. It's as if he attempted to forgive everyone's college student loan debt. No, Biden is the guy who tried to do that. Trump gets a roaring round of applause for agreeing to not call a man DeSanctimonious again. Now, Nikki Haley obviously has to feel betrayed. I mean, she, being a person of color, appoints Senator Tim Scott as a U.S. Senator out of South Carolina, a southern state. And I'm sure she had to fight with the racist Confederates that are inside of that state, just like those that exist in Georgia, Alabama, and beyond. And she did for Senator Tim Scott. And here's what she said.
No, he didn't call or inform me. And look, this is what the fellas do. The difference is I don't take politics personally. I never have. And I think that's the problem with where we are now, is you now have people who want to decide who's a good Republican, who's a bad Republican, who's a good person, who's a bad person. That's why our country is so divided. I don't judge people. I focus on policy that's going to make America stronger. I don't take politics personally. I'm not thin-skinned like Donald Trump.
Wow, she doesn't judge people, except she says we have to stop this woke stuff, y'all. Talking about black people, okay? She doesn't take it personal or personally. That's an interesting sentiment, Nikki Haley. I would feel betrayed. I mean, it's human to say this guy has no loyalty. And when you say that there's this division, either division exists or it doesn't. Because I remember you said, ma'am, that America has never been a racist country, not simply denying the sentiment of racism. You're also denying the community that has experienced it. What if someone said to you, well, listen, there was no racism against you personally. You keep saying that on the campaign trail, but nobody was racist against you ever in life. Nobody has said that to you. But that's what you're saying to everybody else. So now that you're saying, well, this is a boys' club, right? Is that not sexism? Wait a minute. If sexism exists against you and racism exists against you, why do you deny that these things exist against everybody else? And that's the problem that you're going to face while you continue to try and obtain power. Ricky, hell of a thing. Thoughts?
Yeah, I find it interesting that she said that it's not a racist country, but she's using her name, Nikki Haley, right, instead of Nemarata.
Right, her real name.
Yeah. So I would like to see her to run on her real name or whatever, and let's see how many votes she get. And it's just people like her, like they had been trying to get her to take the Confederate flag down off of the state capitol for years. And she did it after the shooting in the church when it was convenient for her.
That's right.
And, she's just not a good candidate. And it's just the female version of Donald Trump. I think their party is a mess. I don't think that Donald Trump is electable, if that's the word, in the general. Or whatever. What had me scared was Ron DeSantis getting the Republican nomination, because I thought that he would probably do better against Joe Biden than Donald Trump would. I just don't think that people are going to go out and vote for Trump, because there's a lot of Republicans that are anti-Trump and that are pro the Constitution. So it is so important that we make sure we get out and vote and don't believe all of the hoopla, because I'm noticing a lot of Black men are gravitating towards Trump for some reason, just because a couple of rappers thought that he was cool.
Yeah, and it's really sad when you think about the political context, because obviously politics is a game of policy. We need to get good policy from the politician. And to your point, Ricky, and I agree, DeSantis seemed to be much more disciplined, which is something that Bill Barr, former Attorney General, said Trump just doesn't have discipline. And if he had discipline, he could actually pull things off, but he doesn't have it. Well, DeSantis has proven he does have discipline, and his supporters are likely to support Trump, while Haley supporters, according to the last poll, about 50% of them are likely to support Biden. And these are Republican voters who support Haley, but if Haley's out of the race, they, according to the latest poll, they are going to support the other political party. That's a hell of a number. Yeah, 50%, wow.